Welcome back. Jake Simons here once again. Today we're going to be talking about how to navigate the VEX Robotics website. In previous videos, we talked about how to navigate robotevents.com. In future videos, we're going to talk about how to navigate the REC Foundation's website and the TechPoint Foundation for Youth's website. I know, lots and lots of websites. The beautiful thing is that they all do intertwine with each other. Andy and Jamie do a fantastic job of talking about the differences between the three companies, VEX Robotics, REC Foundation, and TechPoint Foundation for Youth. I'm going to use that same analogy just in case you missed it in that first training, and that is this. Think about basketball terms, right? VEX is kind of like the Wilson of basketball. They create the supplies, they create the parts, they create the basketball, quote unquote. And that's where you go in order to purchase those parts. The REC Foundation is kind of this overarching organization, kind of like the NBA. They're the ones who create the game. The game design committee is through the REC Foundation using VEX parts. They're the ones where you register your teams, register for tournaments, register for league nights. They're the ones who host the World Championships. That's the REC Foundation, kind of like the NBA. And then TechPoint Foundation for Youth, they're kind of like the Players Association. They're the ones who provide grants and money and coaching support and trainings for teachers. And so you intertwine all three of those and you have an amazing product, VEX IQ Robotics, that we all get to love and enjoy. But today we're going to focus on the VEX Robotics website. So go ahead and go to vexrobotics.com and we will continue. Okay, so we are at vexrobotics.com, and once again, a lot of information, kind of information overload on this front homepage here. Much of it is not relevant to us, but what is relevant to us is the VEX IQ section right here. You're certainly welcome to click on Learn More. Generally, what I do is just click on IQ here at the top. And once again, it just whittles it down to IQ, what's specific to us and relevant to us. And if you scroll down, just again, a lot of information talking about curriculum, professional development, different parts and kits that you can buy, the new electronics, coding, all that stuff. And I encourage you to read through all of those things on your own time. For the sake of this video and for the sake of time, we are not going to do that. If you click on Teach with VEX IQ, Compete with VEX IQ, VEX Library for IQ, it'll actually redirect you to the REC Foundation's website, which again, we're not going to do right now. In a future video, we will navigate the REC Foundation website. Tons and tons of resources that are available to you. It is information overload, but at least we'll know how to get there and to navigate that website. For today, we are going to kind of talk about three different things. We're going to talk about downloads. We're going to talk about the importance of the new software for VEX coding. We're going to talk about, obviously, the game manual. And then the fourth thing, I think I said three, but the fourth thing then is the shop now, which is probably the most important thing about the VEX Robotics website, all the things that you're going to be purchasing throughout the season. So for right now, let's go ahead and click on Downloads and go to Build Instructions. And this is especially important for first-year teams or young, inexperienced teams. We're going to go ahead and click on VEX IQ. And if you look right here, you can start to see a lot of different types of robots. Very simple robots, especially up here. But if you scroll down, these are the competition kit builds. These are the competition robots, the hero bots they call them, that can actually compete in this year's or last year's or the year before's game. And so this year's robot is called Swish. Highly, highly encourage you to start that robot with your team. You can actually click on these links here and they give you 3D build instructions. They're actually amazing, super easy. They go step by step on how to go through this robot build Swish. Last year's robot was called Bite, the year before was Snapshot, the year before was Fling. But let me just tell you something. These robots are designed to have flaws. They are not designed to win you a state championship or a world championship. They are simply starting points. That's all that they are. So what I don't want you to do is to tell your kids, hey, we're going to build this step-by-step robot and then go to a tournament and just dominate everybody there. That's probably not going to happen. There's a reason for that. The intent behind this is to, one, get your kids started with building, right? A lot of these kids, especially at the elementary level, have zero experience, don't even know how to put a 2x2 connected to another 2x2. They don't know how the gears work. They don't know how chain and sprocket systems work and all of that. And that's totally fine. That's why we recommend starting with this year's Hero Bot, because you can take it to a competition and you can compete with it. Now, the hope is that once you build this Swish Bot, that you don't just stop there, that you don't just build that in October and November and then compete with it in December and January and February and hope to make it to state in March and hope to make it. You should be going through the engineer design process with this robot or other types of robots throughout the season. So whatever robot you start with really should not be the same robot that you end the season with, because you are cycling through that engineer design process. The great thing about these hero bots is that they give you enough in order to play the game. And so if I look at this robot right here, the Swish robot right here, obviously it has a drivetrain, 4 wheels with a brain at the back, and I think it's 2 motors. It has an intake, which is going to intake the yellow ball. This choo-choo mechanism, I actually don't know if it's a choo-choo mechanism or not, but it is a mechanism that flings the balls, is actually down, the ball goes on the hopper here and then shoots into the goals. And it does work. It works really well, actually, but not well enough to probably win you a competition. So great starting point after finishing this is then talking about all the problems that your kids are experiencing with these robots. Why are we not scoring as much as these teams? What are they doing differently? What about their design is different than ours? Maybe we need to speed up the drivetrain to drive a little bit faster now that our drivers have good control. Maybe we need to modify this intake because it's too chintzy. Maybe we need a double launch. I don't know. Those are the conversations that you need to have with your kids after you have built the Swish, but you should not stick with Swish the entire season. Definitely click on that and get your kids started with building that. For the more experienced teams, you don't need to start with the Swish. For the wired bell bots, we're definitely going to start with Swish right here and then hope to modify and improve that as the season goes on. So you are certainly welcome to click through this. Some other cool, obviously there's some robots on here that are completely worthless to play the game, like this one, for example, that does not have a drivetrain. Like the T-Rex, for example. Short arms aren't good for shooting balls into goals. Something that I like to do too at the beginning of the season is to show the kids all of these designs and to have them kind of pick out, hey, which one, based on these pictures, based on the functions of these robots, which one of these robots do you think is going to help us with this game? And they should be able to eliminate it and whittle it down to Swish right here. They might even talk about Fling. It's a very similar design. There's even a robot down here. Where is it? The link right here, again, what's really fun is looking at some of these robots and being like, yeah, this robot right here certainly can't play this year's game. But with a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of modifying, it definitely can. Maybe we put on a roller on the front here, an intake system on the front that intakes the ball, and then we can use our 4-bar lift here, lift it up to a goal, and roll it out into the goal. I don't know. Those are the conversations that you need to have with your students, guiding them through that engineered design process. So that is how to build. And again, it's okay to build with step-by-step instructions that are provided to you by VEX Robotics. But as your kids become more experienced, they won't need these step-by-step instructions. Go ahead and go back up to the top here, click on downloads. Once again, in order to start coding, you will need to download the VEX Code software. So let's go ahead and click that. And you'll scroll down here and you will see that we need to get it for VEX IQ. So you would click that, and it would give you all the downloads. If you don't want to download, or maybe you have some firewalls at your school that are preventing you from being able to download, you can actually go to codeiq.vex.com. No installation needed. You can actually code right through a website, save it on your desktop, and it's always up to date, which is awesome. Now we're going to go back to this page here and do some shopping. So we're going to click on Shop Now. And again, tons and tons and tons of parts. It's kind of overwhelming. Do I need this? Do I need that? How much do I need? Well, TechPoint Foundation for Youth, I believe, still provides you with some kits when you first register your team or when you first go through their grant process. So the VEX IQ Generation 2 kits, definitely what you're looking for. If you are a team that already has kits, then you might not need any additional kits. I will say this. In order to build the simple robots, one VEX IQ competition kit that has the 4 boxes right there is definitely enough. If you want to start building more complex robots, more complex mechanisms, you are going to need way more than just one VEX IQ competition kit. And that's where this comes in handy. This website comes in handy. So really quickly, if you click on game elements and fields, obviously if you have access to space in your school where you can have fields, definitely buy the field. The new game elements from Rapid Relay right here. You can get a field from right here, the 6 foot by 8 foot, and some more elements if you need it. Pneumatics is pretty complex at the elementary level. It's definitely doable. Elementary kids are definitely able to. Our previous teams were able to do that as well. But for beginning teams, I would recommend not going this route unless you feel like your kids are ready to take that on. It definitely requires a lot of coding involved as well, but here's how you get your IQ pneumatics kit, which is new last year. And then obviously this tool right here, super, super handy. Kids' fingers start to get raw. Your fingers start to get raw as you're helping the kids. These tools are incredibly, incredibly helpful because they help pry and poke and pull out connector pins. But then also I like how we're able to break it down into structure, electronics, and motion. And so structure pieces are as simple as, 2x beams, 1x beams, corner connectors. All of these pieces you will need, standoffs. So if you're able to get a grant through maybe your community foundation in your county, or if your school's providing money or PTO, whatever, you definitely want to get lots and lots of structure pieces on top of the kits that you already have. You definitely want to go with odd length beams, even length beams. It does not hurt to get a bunch of this stuff right here, the structure pieces. Probably don't really need any shock absorbers or plastic sheets, but all the other stuff is probably pretty important. Let's go ahead and look at the electronics. Your kit should have come with Gen 2 controller, brain, batteries, but again, you'll burn through motors, so you should definitely purchase more motors. You might need a second controller and a second brain. Don't do first generation, I'm sorry. Where is it at? Second generation controller, second generation brain, second generation batteries last significantly longer. You'll probably want more than one set of those, and just in case something malfunctions. Generally what we do is we have 4 sets per team. That way we're always guarded. And then there's different sensors that you might need as well. And then go to the motion right here. We'll go ahead and unclick that. Omni wheels, huge advantage because they go forwards, backwards, and they slide side to side, so that gives you a little bit more mobility when driving. You don't get stuck on the wall. You can actually just slide off of it. A lot of these motor shafts are fantastic because what they do is they lock in the metal shaft to the motor and to the 2x beam so that it cannot fall out. Definitely want metal shafts over the plastic shafts in most cases. You need gears, you need chains, you need sprockets. You probably don't need to purchase more rubber tires, but definitely gears. You need a lot of gears, you need a lot of chains, you need a lot of sprockets, and then you need a ton of rubber shaft collars. Like, I'm talking a ton of them. And so that's kind of just a very, very quick overview of what to purchase and the important parts to purchase. Obviously, click on a part. It'll tell you more information about it. You can certainly come down here, click on it, read about it. It gives you CAD files. It gives you different documents that you can download. But all that to say, a regular kit, especially if you have an education kit, is not enough. The competition kit is enough to build one of those hero bots, but that's about it. You definitely want to increase the amount of parts that you have, and maybe not this year, you know what I'm saying, but maybe as your season progresses, or as next season comes or the following season comes, you just continue to accumulate more and more parts. That way they're just readily available for the students to use. That was a very quick overview of the VEX Robotics website and everything that they have to offer. Obviously, we didn't get through everything. Take the time to go through that website, click on the different links that we weren't able to click on, familiarize yourself with that website. I promise it'll be worthwhile for you. We mainly use it to purchase parts, just like that analogy we talked about earlier in this video. One thing I forgot to mention in the previous clip was shipping. Shipping costs through VEX Robotics can get expensive very quickly. So I would recommend creating a spreadsheet through Excel or whatever and list all the parts that you want to purchase, double check it, triple check it, maybe over purchase just in case you might need that part later on in the season, and then submit your quote or your request because shipping gets really expensive. The last thing I want you to do is to think, I need 2 Omni wheels for our tournament next Saturday. Go to purchase 2 Omni wheels for $10 and then have a $30 shipping cost for that. In our next couple of videos, we're going to navigate the REC Foundation website and all the resources that they have to offer. We're going to navigate the TechPoint Foundation for Youth website and all the resources we have to offer. And I promise we're going to get into the fun stuff eventually. Until then, have a great night.